Hi, I'm Leanne King, and I want to welcome you to Longevity's Aroma Share. It is May 2015, and it is our anniversary. One whole year has gone by since we started the Aroma Share Club, and we are going to make a fun, unusual, different recipe than maybe some of you ever heard of before, and that is Navajo, or Dene, as they like to call themselves, blue cornmeal bread. And it is more like a cookie maybe to the rest of us, but this is how you make it. So you're going to start out with 2 1/4 cups of boiling water, and in here I have roughly a teaspoon, and I didn't measure it exactly, a teaspoon of honey or some other kind of sweetener, and then we're going to put 1 drop of juniper berry oil. Now I want to talk about the history of this bread a little bit. If I can get a drop of juniper berry out. There we go. All right, so I want to talk about the history of this bread. Let me smell this first. Yummy. Okay. Traditionally, this bread is made by picking juniper berries, putting it in the water, and boiling them until it draws out the essential oils. And then they would just strain out the berries. But we have the oil all ready for us, because face it, we don't have juniper berries at every single grocery store. I don't think Steph Mart carries juniper berries. So I'm going to put the honey in the water, and so that will melt, and so I can get the rest of it out. I'm just going to put a little bit of that hot water in there because we don't want to waste anything. Now these are not sweet. That little tiny bit of honey just slightly adds to the flavor. But these are not going to be sweet. You need to think of them sort of like Navajo potato chips, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what to call them, but they are not like sweet cookies. So I have that all mixed in there. And then I'm going to pour this in this big mixing bowl so that it's easier for me to work with. All right, now we're going to add roughly 3 cups of the blue cornmeal, and so we're going to add this in slowly and stir as we get it in there. And this is the deal about this stuff is and sometimes a little whisk thing works good for this, and so you could use that. Take out my wooden spoon and just set this over here, and you're going to add this slow so it's not clumpy, and depending on the consistency of your cornmeal and your weather, you may have to add more. We had to add a lot more to this first batch that we did. And so I just want you to keep that in mind. You know, don't get exactly 3 cups when you go to the store. You know, it always is different. See, even this batch is turning out different than the first batch I did. First batch I put in 3 cups, and it was like practically like pancake batter. And this one is getting a lot stiffer, a lot faster. Now we're past where we can use this whisk, and I'm going to go back to my wooden spoon. You want this about the consistency of peanut butter cookie dough. I think that's a good definition of it, because you want to be able to make balls just like you do peanut butter cookie dough. And another thing you can do is, if it's not as thick of as a dough as you want, just knead it more and more, and it will start, the corn kernels will start absorbing that water, okay? So this is sort of like this. Now, if I was just had plenty of time, I might let this sit for a while so that it could soak up the water before I added more to it. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more for you guys to see. But I think that this could just set for a while, really, and knead it some more, and it would become the consistency more, a little bit thicker, heavier dough. But you don't want it too heavy, otherwise your cornbread, and see, this is not cornbread like you're thinking about. This is not, you know, the Colonel's cornbread, okay, of Kentucky Fried Chicken. They just call it cornbread because it is made out of the blue cornmeal. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to form this into balls about the size of, a big golf ball, okay, about like that. And you should get around 15 out of here. I think I got 17 out of mine because some weren't exactly the same, and it depends on how much extra of the cornmeal you need to add. So you're going to make about 15 of these, and then you're going to flatten them out in your hands to about 1/4 inch thick. And then you're going to use, can you guys see this? Can they see this? So I got a cast iron skillet here, and we've got it nice and hot. And we're going to set these in here. And I just did a boo-boo. Don't do this, what I just did. I patted it down. Don't do that. I have this bad habit of patting them down, and you don't want to do that. And you're going to set them in here, and I just did it again. Oh my goodness. Because they stick. They don't want to come off very good if you do that. So you fill your pan with that, and you're going to keep them in here. It takes quite a while. I'm going to say at least 5 to 7 minutes on each side for them to get cooked all the way through. Now this is what they look like when they are all done. And this is a snack that would just be in a home. The mother would make these and have these on the counter or the table. And she would have a bowl of water, 2 cups of water, and in it she would add about, let's see, what did I tell you? I think it was 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Yes, around 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And stir that up in there. And this is how they traditionally eat them. They dip them in there, and then they eat them like this. They're very yummy. You've got to rethink your brain about cornmeal, about cornbread. This is organic blue cornmeal. Very good, very nutritious for you. And these are very yummy. Wow, way yummy. So, this is how much dough it makes. I want you guys to try these. Give these a try. This is a traditional dish, and I think we should go out of our comfort zone and try different things. I got cornmeal on my face. But I want to thank you guys once again for joining me with Young Jeopardy's Aroma Share Club, and I hope you have an aromatic day.